Testing, testing. Good morning, everyone. PT on Ice Daily Show. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the Gut Check Thursday workout this week. I hope you took that on yesterday. If you didn't, you still got time to smack that and get that done this weekend. Let's turn this camera a little bit. I'm trying to get my lighting figured out here, guys. That's better. It's Friday. It's September 30th. It's the end of the month. And our topic today that we're talking about is the last 30 days that we had a little M30 challenge, a little Mayhem 30 challenge for our affiliate. And we're going to talk about the kind of the effects of that challenge or the results and kind of how I perceive those subjectively and kind of an overall fitness value standpoint. So that's what's coming up. Before we get into that, where am I heading this weekend? Salt Lake City. So shout out to all of those that I'm going to be running into this weekend out in Salt Lake. My first time out west out there. So I'm excited to see a little bit of that. I'll be heading to the airport as soon as this podcast is done. And excited to fly out to Salt Lake City and hang out with all of you, with Sarah Morgan helping me out there in Salt Lake City. Coming up, courses that you need to be mindful of. We're hosting our friend Jordan Berry in the cervical spine course right here in Fenton, Michigan. So if you are in the surrounding Michigan area and you are looking to check the cervical spine course off of your list of things that you need to do, then we've got a few spots available for the Fenton course. So be looking for that October 15th coming up here in a couple of weeks. Jordan Berry for cervical. We've also got another CMFA course towards the end of October that's got a few seats left, and that's going to be in Peoria, Illinois. That's with Joe. So you can find Joe just outside of Chicago, October 22nd. So a couple things coming your way to be mindful of before we get into this show. All right, so today's topic, 30 days, no alcohol, low sugar, more water. So a little background, what we did, we're a Mayhem affiliate. We follow Mayhem programming, and every month Mayhem kind of launches like, hey, we got a monthly challenge for you guys. If you want to showcase this with your members, by all means, jump on it. So this month's challenge was a version of the 75 hard. Many of you are familiar with the 75 hard challenge. Many of you done that before already. If you're not, just hit it in Google. What is the 75 hard? 75 days of these, list of tasks to do every single day as a way to jumpstart better habits, self-discipline, motivation, get you kind of on a right path if you kind of feel like you need that hardcore, discipline to get you in that direction. But this M30 challenge was just a 30-day version of that. And we kind of tweaked it a little bit to better suit our members and what's feasible for our member base. But just a brief synopsis of what that was. We're looking at 2 workouts a day, one of which being outside, read 10 pages of a nonfiction book a day, drink 2/3 of your body weight in water a day. The program calls for follow a diet. For our members, we say, hey, we want to encourage you to track your macros for 30 days. Don't make any significant changes. Just track your daily intake. Along with that was no cheat meals. And for me, I want to talk a little bit more about what that meant for me. Take a daily progress picture was another one of them. And then I feel like I'm missing one. No alcohol. That's the other one. No alcohol. So cut the alcohol, track your macros, no cheat meals, 2 workouts a day, take a progress picture, drink more water, read a book. Okay. That was the M30 challenge. The big ones that I want to talk about today is the effects of the no alcohol, reduced sugar, and more hydration for me specifically. Okay. And to give you more context, despite my best efforts to be working and helping lead people to a better state of fitness, I am human, just like everybody else, and I have vices and I have bad habits of my own that I'm here to confess on PT on Ice podcast to all of you guys. I am a sugar addict. Like many people, I like sweets. I like cookies. I like peanut M&Ms. Many of you know me that I like a bag of that yellow bag peanut M&Ms. Ice cream. I love to smash some ice cream. I got that little sweet tooth at night like a lot of people do. And admittedly, I have a genetic phenotype. I have a genetic profile that allows me to buffer a lot of that stuff without realizing the consequences as quickly as what many other people may realize the consequences of. And because of that, I've let myself slide and kind of leverage a little more sugar in my daily intake than probably I normally need. I'm not demonizing sugar, but I am saying that, hey, probably that much sugar consumption is not going to lead me to a great state of long-term health, longevity, or physical performance. So along with that is also my caffeine intake. So my job, my day to day is to be fired up and to get people inspired and motivated for fitness. And I have found myself consuming upwards of 2 energy drinks a day for the better part of the last couple of years. Um, to which you get acclimated to, right, like anything else. Like you just like that level of caffeine consumption, north of probably 500 milligrams of caffeine a day was just baseline. It was nothing to really move the needle at that point. When you're drinking that much caffeine, I found myself not really drinking much water. Um, Found myself many times getting into the afternoon or like dinner time and having my first glass of like clear water. Like, not that I'm not drinking other fluids all day, but like actually having water didn't come until evening time. So the alcohol component. I'm a social drinker. I like to have a cocktail when we go out to dinner. Have a nice draft beer when you're going out and getting something to eat. And that was happening 2 to 3 nights a week. And then a couple nights during the week, coming home from work and cracking a Coors Light or a Miller Light. Not really enjoying more than one, but just having a couple drinks throughout the week like that starts to add up. And so this challenge was good for me. It was a good challenge for me to put a lot of those sweets down. So for me, my challenge with the no cheat meals was to, hey, let's put down the Pop-Tarts. Yes, I would have Pop-Tarts. Let's put down the peanut M&Ms, the cookies, the sweets, the ice cream. And I'm not talking about, Mitch, did you do like a Whole30, cut all the sugar out of your condiments and everything? No, I did not go that extreme. I did the easy stuff, like the stuff that I would normally grab at the gas station that I don't need, or the after dinner snacks or cookies that I wouldn't normally need. But outside of that, keeping my normal, calorie intake the same and throughout the rest of the stuff. I'm sure there's marginal levels of sugar and added refined carbohydrate like that, but that was the big stuff for me. 2 was adding the water, and that was a challenge. Started filling up about 3 of these bad boys a day. It's about a 40-ounce Yeti right here, and trying to get that in each day. And then the last was putting down the alcohol for all 30 days. So what are the results of that? What did you find? And now you could be sitting here saying, Mitch, what's your objective data? Did you wear your Whoop? Did you track your sleep? Did you measure your body weight, your composition? Any of that changes? And the answer is no. I haven't tracked my body weight in a couple months. I typically hover about the same weight. Subjectively, I feel a little bit leaner after the 30 days of cutting a little bit of that added refined carbohydrate out and getting more water intake and less alcohol. So I'm sure there's a calorie difference. There has to be, right? Like, I'm sure there's a calorie difference that's coming associated with that. But that little bit of extra sweetener calories that I was probably ingesting throughout the day or in the afternoons contributed to, at the end of the 30 days, feeling a little bit leaner from a body composition standpoint. From a hydration standpoint, notice a lot of benefits to this. In order to get 3 or 4 of these in per day, it's got my name on it, it's got Health HQ on it, it's got CrossFit Fenton, the only gym that matters. In order to get those in per day, I found myself getting one first thing in the morning. A habit that many of you are sitting here listening to going, duh, you knucklehead. Of course you should get some fresh water in your body first thing in the morning. But honest to God, run to the gym at 5 in the morning, crack an energy drink, start the day. Like that was normal routine for me. So now I'm hammering a good 20 to 40 ounces of water first thing in the morning. And what I'm finding is that I'm naturally more awake. I don't crave an energy drink until later in the day, till later in the morning, right? By getting that fluid in, by getting that water in, I'm kind of curbing that need for that early morning energy drink when really my body's just thirsty. I just want something cold to drink, kind of wet the whistle after a long night of sleep. So that early morning water intake has been a big win for me over the last 30 days, and not needing the reliance on so much energy drinks. Because of the lack of reliance on the energy drinks, I'm drinking less. I would say probably between half to 1 full energy drink less than what I was probably starting this challenge. I'm still taking in probably at minimum like 1 energy drink per day. And I know some of you are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. But that coming from someone who would drink 2 to 3 a day, that's a pretty significant change for me. So if I was to track my sleep, if I had something like a Whoop or something, I'm sure that you would see that correlate from, hey, you decrease that caffeine intake by increasing the water intake. And the tertiary, the third effect of this was better sleep performance. So by sleeping better, deeper sleep, less disturbed sleep, I'm also finding this carrying over into readiness to train. So the actual performance metric now is actually your willingness or your readiness to train every day, your subjective measure for that. and finding that that is significantly higher. There are many days that feeling like I'm run down, I'm tired, my motivation, my will to exercise is pretty low because of this landslide effect of getting more water in, getting less caffeinated substances in, sleeping better. Now my readiness to train has been higher. I've been working out more consistently, and doing more volume throughout this last 30 days than what I had prior to, as a secondary effect of all of these other habits. Other things that are noticeable, and this one's going to be silly, but like my skin has been like more hydrated. And again, you're sitting there going, duh, you idiot, you're taking in better amounts of water. And yes, this all makes sense to me too. But like, like I'm always getting like the ashy arms, or like my knees, my ashy like skin, dry skin on the face and forehead. And I feel like that has not been an issue towards the end of these 30 days by getting more water intake, feeling like my skin is just simply more hydrated. So all these things have been like subjective things that I've noticed over 30 days of simply putting the alcohol down, trying to eat less sugar, trying to drink more water, and seeing what that does from a performance standpoint. Now, I wish I could say that, hey, since, hanging up a lot of that sugar, that my joints feel extremely better, my back, like, I, for one, I don't necessarily have a lot of those impairments that really slow me down on a day-to-day basis. Yeah, I've got tight joints and stiff stuff in the mornings, like a lot of people do, and my back gets tight on occasion. Have I had any flare-ups or anything over the last 30 days? No. So that's a positive metric. Have I noticed like all of a sudden, like my body feels brand new again? Also no. But I think that if you were to continue this trend out more than 30 days, I do truly believe that you would start to see some more systemic effects, as far as like, man, that achy knee pain or that back stuff or whatever, but by decreasing that inflammatory effect, like we talk about all the time, of changing that threshold barrier, of really allowing that to carry over into other aspects of the day. Now, we know that habit formation takes about 66 days to upregulate. We know that from James Cleary's books, and I'm reading that right now. Atomic Habits is a really good one. I'll be reading more on that on the plane out to Salt Lake City today. But man, you're sitting here going 30 days. That's not enough. I do believe 30 days is a good amount of window to jumpstart new habits. Whether it's long enough to form true new habits or not, we'll leverage the research on that. Maybe we need to go a little bit longer. But 30 days is enough to start some new habits, and then to encourage those new habits to take strong hold and carry forward. So if you're working with someone in the clinic, maybe simply start with saying, can you just try to get that water intake every day for the next 30 days? I'm going to be seeing you twice a week. That's 8 touch points over the next month. I'm going to hold you accountable to just that water intake. Can we get 2/3 your body weight in water? Because what that might also do is wean them off some of the sodas, wean them off some of the alcohol, wean them off some of the energy drinks that they may be having. Ask them the same thing about the alcohol. Can you just stop the alcohol for 30 days? If they're just a low intake social drinker like I was, they're not going to bat an eye at that. They're going to find it more of an inconvenience than anything. Like, I got this party, I got this wedding, I got this football game tailgate thing coming up. I really wanted to have a couple. Can you go 30 days where you dramatically limit the intake of alcohol? If you absolutely have to have a drink at some set event, can you go the other 29 days without having a drink? Can we see what the 30 days of that looks like for us to do, to limit or restrict the alcohol intake and to increase the hydration, the water intake? Someone talks about habit stacking and how do I approach this tactic with my clients. Truthfully, I haven't went down habit stacking road yet. I'm excited to get down and deeper into that book and kind of get some more references of that. But for me, it's a lot more. My habit thus far has been to add in a positive habit versus restricting a negative habit, right? So add in the water instead of just saying stop the alcohol, right? Can you get more water in your day? And then along that vein, can you be conscious of reducing your overall alcohol intake? It's kind of been a positive strategy that people feel a little bit more receptive to at face value. So I encourage you guys to try that. That's just a little subjective report of the last 30 days for me. Now, you may be wondering, where are you going to go? Mitch, you going to keep this going? Yeah. I need more water in my day. I'll tell you what, I didn't realize how much you could pee when you're drinking that much water, but that's been another thing to work in my schedule, is all these frequent bathroom breaks that I wasn't used to taking. But I know that how much your body relies on water, how crucial of a role that serves for our joints and our cellular processes. So like, I need to keep this habit alive. So I'll be keeping this water bottle. This has been nice to kind of become my friend these last few weeks rather. So I'll be keeping the water intake up. I will be keeping my alcohol reduced. I'm still going to have a cocktail when I go out to dinner and enjoy those moments, but asking myself, do I really need that beer on a Tuesday night for dinner? Knowing what we know about the data about sleep performance, and knowing that I want to train good all week, do I want to have one or two beers on a Tuesday night that's going to screw up my Wednesday or Thursday training? Maybe I'll just hang those up and just have a cocktail or a cold beer when we go out to dinner on the weekends. So I'm going to make conscious effort at that as well. And I'm going to make a conscious effort at stopping the gas station trend that I was in prior to, of grabbing the Pop Tart or grabbing the peanut M&Ms at the gas station. Mitch, are you going to have? Yes, I'm going to have ice cream. I'm still going to enjoy life, but this is about moderation and about like taking the last 30 days to really examine, man, how frequently was I doing these other habits? And now that I spent 30 days picking up new habits, there's other ways to dramatically limit some of that intake in your life. And so I think this is a big net win for us long term for my longevity and my health. So I'm excited about that. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I think it's really there's a lot of power in us taking on things that are out of our comfort zone as well. When I stand back and look at the gym, like a lot of people asking me as coach, as gym manager, like, hey, like, how's this going for you? It would be easy to stand on the sidelines and just tell people to do better habits. It's another thing to get out in the field with them and perform those better habits alongside of them. So I think it's helpful for you guys as well, as clinicians, as fitness forward professionals that are leading in your communities, to put it out there. Like, we got a whiteboard in the clinic, and all month it's been written up on the whiteboard that this is the challenge that we've been doing, and encouraging everyone to join us with that challenge over the 30 days. Hang up the, can you track your food? Can you read? Can you get 2 workouts in a day? All of that stuff come alongside of us in the process. And I would encourage you guys to do the same. Throw a whiteboard up, monthly challenge in your clinic, see if it can inspire your team, your therapists, your PTAs, your patients to kind of jump on board with you and do something out of your comfort zone, and try to take 30 days to jumpstart a new habit if you feel like that's going to help them move in a positive direction. I know it did for me. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Instagram, YouTube, podcast listeners, thank you so much for putting us in your ears and taking us on the road with you. We appreciate that. For this episode of PT on Ice Fitness Friday, that is a wrap. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next time.